How powerful are banned commander cards in 2026? Well, we're going to find out today, starting with Sylvan Primordial. This is a 7-mana, 6/8 avatar with reach. When Sylvan Primordial enters the battlefield, for each opponent, destroy target non-creature permanent that player controls. For each permanent destroyed this way, search your library for a forest card and put that card onto the battlefield tapped and shelf your library. Why? Well, I'm actually genuinely confused. Is it because you can like blow up everyone's soul ring and you essentially get more mana? It is a lot of value for 7 mana. I'll admit that, because that's what is 7 mana in Commander? It's basically nothing. So you blow up everybody's soul ring, mana vault, mana rock, and it does essentially say put 3 lands in play, which is a lot. In addition to having a 6/8 creature, it is a lot of value. Fan Factor says, ban anyone that calls it Commander. It's Highlander? There can only be one? I thought it was EDH. Or is that the same thing? El Winter doesn't even seem that strong for the mana cost, to be honest. I would say it's good value. I don't know why it would be ban-worthy. Were people just sick and tired of green? I mean, it's not land destruction. It doesn't touch your creatures. It hits only non-creature. Oh, sorry. Target non-creature for that. Oh, non-creature includes lands. I see. That's the whole problem here. Richmond, destroy target non-creature permanent, not non-land. Usually when I read these things, it's non-land, non-creature permanent. I see the problem. It touches people's lands. Yeah, land destruction banned in that. Like, no, this is not. Well, this is not the local game store. This is this is actually on the Commander ban list. See, Commander, no, banned in Commander and Oathbreaker. You hear that, Sylvan Primordial? You with a signature spell or not are too strong. For each opponent, destroy target non-creature permanent. That includes the lands. Okay, do you know what? I might have even answered the question. Welcome, Toads. Welcome. Fan Factor, one of the oldest, newest bans? What does that mean? Oh, it was banned in 2014. Basically right at the cusp of Commander getting really, really popular. El Winter, it's green. Destroying creatures is not allowed, which is odd flavor-wise. Doesn't nature kill creatures too? You know, maybe, you know what? You're actually right. People like the wolves hunt other creatures. Do you know what? But there is some flavor to it in that there's a lot of creatures that will only hunt weak creatures, like creatures that are like already on their way to dying. So I don't know. Ykill says, only call it EDH if your commander is an Elder Dragon. You guys are playing Commander. I'm playing EDH. I'm playing with Nico Bolas. Oh boy, but it's still 7 mana without any protection. Well, the protection doesn't matter, right? So this enters the battlefield. I mean, you can kill it with a murder if you want. I still get the value. You can't invalidate the value. I basically get what is the value swing on this? So we get a body, we get 3 lands, and then we also chew up 3 permanents. It's like a 7 for 0. Or I mean, it's basically a 7 for 0. Because we don't lose anything. Like, nothing even went to the graveyard. We still have the 6/8 creature in play. If you kill it, it's an 8 for 1. So, I mean, you know what? Maybe when I put it like that, that's outrageous value. Kano says, green is one of 2 colors with Death Touch. Yeah, and it should be able to kill creatures. Oh boy, but I don't think it's good enough without blinking. Oh, that's another problem too. Yeah, if you start blinking the crap out of this card, I mean, you'll basically support your own balance in some sort of way. Balanced in your favor, of course. Kano says, my Arcades deck has a bona fide Elder Dragon. You play with the dragons. Fan Factor says, Nagel made this his Ken Nagel, I don't know who that is. Made this for his Commander deck and put it in the set. The Ghost of Thomas Jenkins. This should be banned because of the scaling to 4 players issue. How did he think this was fair? I don't know. Maybe it's 7 mana. You know what? Okay, if you don't play with like if you don't play with any like mana ramp, like Soul Ring and Mana Vault, maybe this card is actually sort of fair. If you have to literally play 7 lands to get this thing, or even get 1 ramp spell, if you get it out on turn 6, it's probably not so bad. Toad says, the elephant in the room. Iona, mono, yeah, mono death. Corbinek says, morning, y'all. Okay, let us take... If we don't have that much discussion on this card, and we might have solved it. I mean, at first I thought it didn't destroy the land. No, it's for each opponent destroy target non-creature permanent that player controls. Let's see why let's see why it's banned. Let's see why the Commander Rule Committee thinks it's banned. Okay, Sylvan Primordial. Sometimes considered an attempt to fix Primeval Titan? Really? Sylvan Primordial ended up being just as bad, and sometimes worse. It can only get forests, but accelerates by 2 to 3 lands while knocking other players even further behind. Often flickered, as we talked about, the blinking thing. Flickered out to repeat the effect. The resulting mana gap is usually insurmountable. Very insurmountable. And Sylvan Primordial is yet another example of a card which looks fun for the builder, but makes games repetitive. I don't know if it makes games repetitive, but it's going to make games miserable for the person who is not playing Sylvan Primordial. They just slowly get siphoned from their lands. And one play, I admit, if you play this and then blink it once, you probably have double the mana of anyone at the table. Maybe even triple the mana at that point. Mercenary says Ken Nagel is one of the 3 who won the Great Designer Search job hire and is the one that was able to convince Wizards to shift course away everything heavily pushing the Pro Tour to what we got now. Oh no, I had no idea there was someone responsible for this. Corvinick says, yes, because Guy's Cradle wasn't a thing back then. Oh boy, I'm probably too spoiled by my playgroup running enough removal and counter spells. You do have to counter this thing. See, everyone complains about counter spells. Look, this is a perfect example of something to counter. But now, is it too powerful for today? Like, we got a lot of different cards these days. We have more cards that say, like, ETBs don't ETB. You know, we've got Dress Down. We've got more stifle effects, like Tashana's Tidebinder. What else do we have? Consign to Memory is counters triggers. What else do we have? So I mean, so those are tools for blue. Then for white, I mean, there's more cards that prevent your opponent from searching their library or punishes you for searching your library. So it is possible. Sylvan Primordial is not nearly as strong as it used to be. I'm very loosely saying possible because at 7 mana, I have to admit that's not a lot of mana. If you go like turn 1 Mana Dork, turn 2 Soul Ring, turn 3 you can already play this while still making land drops every single turn. Elwinter, another case for more answers for triggered abilities. Yes, triggered abilities are just and cast triggers. Just anything that triggers. We just need more stuff. We need like some sort of sphere. They have so many spheres in the game. We need a sphere that's like, if something would trigger, it just doesn't trigger. Simple as that. We need classic hate cards back in this game that says, if you tried to do the thing, you don't do the thing anymore. We just don't have enough of those anymore. They don't make them like they used to, that's for sure. Torpor Orb is something everyone can use. Well, Torpor Orb won't work here in this case. Oh no, sorry, Torpor Orb is something. Yeah, this is the right card. Torpor Orb is something everyone can use. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. But only works on creatures. Only works if they enter the battlefield. Doesn't work on cast. Didn't say creatures can't trigger abilities. So it doesn't do anything to them Eldrazi's. Although there's a lot of Eldrazi's that can't interact with this anyway. They only interact with a permanent with a color. Elish Mom. We have Elish Mom. We have yeah, that's right. We have Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, right? So okay, we have this. Although this card could be considered a problem in another direction. Shuts down you, doubles me. I mean, imagine the Sylvan Primordial player is playing with Elish Norn. Then it'd be double the problem. Super double the problem. Ashok is also an answer. It's not a bad answer. Yeah, Ashok, the one that prevents you from searching your deck. Actually, so when this card got banned, it was back in 2014. I mean, it's been a full decade. It's like a completely different game today. Fast Bond? Oh, we did that one a long time ago. We're doing this alphabetically. We're already in S category. Leon Corgi, as a green player, I love me some thick mana. I guess you mean ramp. Mana gap. Korvanik, Ashiok counters them searching the library at least. Yeah, if you are talking about Ashiok, I know which Ashiok you're talking about. The Dream Renderer. Spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause their controller to search their libraries. It can still control. It can't prevent them from blowing up your lands though. S for S tier. I can see Primordial being really miserable in 2014. It's possible. It's okay. So let's get a vote here. Is it still miserable today? Too powerful for 2026? Okay, let's say too powerful. Too powerful, stay banned. Weak, or I should say I should just say unbanned. It might be strong still, but okay. So here's our poll. Here's our poll for today. We have Urtigau. I'm kind of noob in Commander, but this card seems quite expensive to be ban-worthy. El Winter, just run Equinox if you are scared of your lands being blown up. You know, on that topic, Urtigau, you know, you should look at Emrakul, the Ion's Torn. A whole 15 mana card that is also still banned. Wow, everyone is almost unanimous here on the unban. I'm actually surprised. Korvanik says, make it a game changer, and I think it could be fine. It's not a balanced level of power. This also is a really good point. We do have a different bracket system. We have a game changer list. Make it a game changer. Put it on the game changer list. You know, if you want to have game changers in your deck, there's a limit to how many you can have, and so you can have this one miserable card, but you can't play with other miserable cards at the same time. Okay, so I guess that it's settled then. Sylvan Primordial, not too powerful for 2026. Okay, next up, what do we got? I don't have. I don't know the next card. Chat, where am I here? Where am I? Bear with me here as I look for the damn commander card. There we go. Okay, I got it. Next is Time Vault. This card is so powerful. Oh, I want the original. I hate looking at. Oh, this is very original looking. It's super outrageously evil. Okay, this is a 2-mana mono artifact, which by today's standards is an artifact. It's gone through a lot of different erratas over the years, but it works like this today. This artifact enters tapped. This artifact doesn't untap during your untap step. If you would begin your turn while this artifact is tapped, you may skip that turn instead. If you do, untap this artifact. Tap, take an extra turn after this one. Gillum says, to the rank with this card. A big note from Korvanik. I have to admit, every single no ban list commander game I watch ever always ends with Time Vault. It's the same damn thing. So there's a lot of ways to enable Time Vault. Like way back in the day, it might have been only Voltaic Key. But consistency has gone up since then because Voltaic Key can pay 1 and to untap the artifact immediately. It comes into play tapped, but that doesn't matter. It gets untapped and you can use it immediately for infinite turns. We have more cards though, like the Manifold Key. There's Manifold Key for 1 mana. Basically a power creep version of Voltaic Key. Pay 1, tap, untap another target artifact, and for 3 mana tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Not to mention, how are we going to consistently get the Voltaic Key or Manifold Key? Well, there's a card called Urza's Saga, which has a chapter. It's a land with chapter 3. Search your library for an artifact card with mana value 0 or 1. Put it onto the battlefield and shuffle. Not to mention, like, we have so many tutors now that can get this artifact onto the battlefield. Like, we have more than Tinker. We don't need Tinker anymore. It's too shenanigan-y. How is this shenanigans? It's just a lethal, consistent 2-card combo. Like, I should say, should 2-card combos be illegal? So, like, a lot of people say, hey, that's a 2-card combo. Like, there's a million 2-card combos that win the game. This one is too easy and too hard to interact with. Way too hard to interact with. Stay banned, Time Vault. Too easy to abuse. Easiest combo enabler ever. Especially since like this card costs 2 mana. This costs 1 mana or 0 mana because of the Urza saga. So there's a lot of ways to get the Time Vault online. Corbnick says, you know what would fix Time Vault? Give it Shroud. Oh god. David Sampson, Twiddle was the OG untap. What did they do after that, though? If you have Twiddle in your deck, I don't know what you're doing. Unless, I guess you have, like, Air Elemental also in the deck. Goes to Thomas Jenkins. Untapping something is so freaking easy these days. Not true! Not true. I mean, you list me all the cards that untap permanents. Maybe there are cards... There's actually a lot of cards that untap... Maybe there's a good chunk of cards that untap artifacts. There are very few cards that untap permanents. I dare you to look through them. There's not that many. We have Alex. Time Vault's mirrors meta must be something. Oh, it's probably just terrible. Fan Factor. Let me lock my opponent in a time loop. Let me be the villain. Gillum, the problem is that 2-card combos with everything and also give a bazillion extra turns, and everyone hates those. To be honest, if someone has infinite turns, just concede. Like, what do you want to keep playing on for? You think they don't have a win condition in their deck or something? Alex says, it's not shenanigans at all. It's basically the lowest IQ level combo. It's so easy. It's lowest IQ, highest power level. It's the biggest discrepancy between the two. It's also not very cheap to buy. I think that's what makes this worse than other combos. Honestly, I doubt I mean, again, you could always proxy your cards. I would say Commander, for the most part, not entirely, but for the most part, it's a very pro-proxy friendly type of format, especially once you get the CDH levels. But you can't even make this a game changer. You know, we talk about like all the I don't even think Collector Oof is enough to play around this card. So we think about all the cards that we have today that can answer these cards. Like, nothing's answering this thing effectively. There's not enough hate cards. There's not enough new hate cards. I don't think making this a game changer changes squat. You D after Twiddle, then you dumb. Urtigau, the only problem with Time Vault is if the player has one of its keys to access it. Unban. What? What? Show idea, cards that untap permanents. It would be like 10 cards long. Maybe? Oh boy, when they take infinite turns. Hold on, there's one set of cards that might untap a lot of perms, that those are the extra combat cards, like untap all your creatures and attack. I get, maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough to make a show. Would anyone even be interested? Corbinek, actually legitimate question to chat. If this had Shroud and had to be played legit, would it be fair? Oh, that's an interesting concept. Not hexproof Shroud. If it has Shroud, you can't target it. If you can't target, well, then it'd be honestly, it would be stone cold worthless. If you give it Shroud, that'd be the fastest way to make this thing from S tier to like Z tier. No one would play this. No one's going to sacrifice a turn to get another turn sometime later, because we already have cards like that, and they don't see any play because they're worthless. Borte says Formidable Speaker untaps any permanent. Mercenary still OP. Time Vault is more powerful than some of the Power 9. Well, I mean, if you're not playing with a Power 9, sure. I mean, you know what? I actually agree with that. I mean, there's a lot of cards on the Power 9. I don't think they should be there. What I think Time Twister should get booted out, but if it gets booted out, which one's better, Time Vault or Soul Ring? We have Alex here. This kind of card is perfect for vintage. It's cool to watch someone dumb OP cheat old cards turning in vintage, but only for that format and nothing else. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about Time Vault and why it got. Well, we probably already know why it's banned, but we're gonna talk about cards. If you want to play with Time Vault, there actually is a way of doing that, and I have done it, and it's with Mana Traders, because you can play Vintage on Magic Online, and if you've never played Vintage before, whoops, that's wrong. Oh no, wait, this is our first. Is this our first? This is our first. Okay, sorry. Wait, if you want to get time, you could buy a Time Vault if you want at FusionGamingOnline.com. That's possible. But outside of that, you want to get your commander cards. You can get your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cards, Secrets of Strixhaven cards, and also Marvel Superhero spoilers. When does Marvel come out? It's got to be coming out super soon. Get yourself a Wolverine and a She-Hulk as a treat. Don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout for 5% off all your purchases, and it supports the channel. Thank you very much for everyone that supports through FusionGamingOnline.com. Again, I'm getting disoriented how long this show has been so far. Nikachu using Time Vault to give mana traders extra segments. Yeah, by accident. There's a few mass untapped spells / abilities. Okay, maybe we'll have an untapped show. I don't think we ever did one because I didn't think there was enough that existed. Maybe you can all prove me wrong. Mercenary says Time Vault is the one card that Gabriel Nassif had to ask about the 2007 National as he didn't know what it did. Well, probably because of the erratas. They've errated this card a few times. Okay, why did they ban it though? Why are you banned, Time Vault? Well, okay, apparently Time Vault is a card that saw many changes to its rules text over the years in an attempt to remove the ability to easily take infinite turns with simple untap effects like Voltaic Key or Twiddle. Wizards finally reverted the card to its printed and broken text just prior to its banning in Commander. Weird. Interesting. Let's see. It says tap to gain an... Yeah, this is the original printing. We don't need erratas to make them fair. If it was broken, it's broken. It's okay. It can go to the ban list. It's completely fine. Will Anderson says, honestly, I think the TMNT and Marvel sets are a complete disgrace to Magic. Wizards of the Coast greed would be laughable if it weren't so damaging to the game. Oh, yes, we all know that by now. David Sampson, pre-sale for MSH is today. Happy Juneteenth. Oh, yeah, what the hell is this holiday today? Juneteenth, for anyone watching live. Fan Factor says, to answer what to do after Twiddle, you D, then you dumb. This is the second time someone made that joke. Corbinek, I don't know if I agree with you. Teferi's protection exists and fog, etc. If this had to be played fair, aside from mass untap, then it could be played fair. No, even if you play with Teferi's protection, you still give your opponent an extra turn. Maybe the attack step is not as meaningful if it were one-on-one, but it would still be meaningful to your opponents. And you give everybody 2 turns. I mean, you could just give them extra cards, extra land drops, and then it just turns into like a weird time walk. So I think if you played Time Vault with not with Shroud, but Time Vault with Teferi's protection, would not be nearly as broken. Will Anderson, final legal end. Slavery does still exist, but it's illegal. Where the hell did that come from? We're Erdigau, MTG, Marvel the Gathering. Not yet. Alexander, to me, it's the same kind of vibes than Tolarian Academy, and I am a big Tolarian Academy lover. But those cards are perfect for Vintage only. Just try it once in a kitchen format, but that's all. Anyway, I played with this card a little bit in Vintage. It's fun. It's like playing Vintage is like playing Vintage Cube, except you have your perfect draft deck made in the first place. Okay, Time Vault. Too broken. You must be banned and stay banned. Next up. I'm not gonna say too much. All right, I'm not gonna say too much because I'm the blue player here. I should let everyone else speak for me. Time Walk. It's a 2-mana sorcery. Take an extra turn after this one. Now, my only defense to Time Walk is that you usually have a lot of mana in Commander anyway, and you have access to a lot of take an extra turn cards anyway. This is just the most mana efficient. So the question is taking an extra turn broken, or is it only because you take an extra turn mana efficiently broken? This, like, early on in the game, it's not worth that much. Like, it's just an explore for the most part. You're not going to attack someone for a whole lot. But late in the game, like, what does it matter? It's just an extra turn card anyway. Let's say you have 9 mana in play. The difference between Time Walk and Time Warp is almost meaningless. Cameron says, it's all right. It's just 1 turn early. Unban it. Make it 5 mana and it's fine. It's a bit too mana efficient. But, okay, if it's mana efficient, how do you break it? Except for, like, maybe, what's it called? The, Maybe a combo deck breaks this. So they have like a big turn, and then they go Time Walk, and they take another turn, and then maybe they really go off. Oh, it's a history lesson. So when America had slaves, after they were freed, what a-holes were still doing it, and it took until June 19 to legally free the black slaves from, the black folks from slavery. That's the too long didn't read of the holiday. Okay, thank you. Juneteenth. I don't know. It was just I didn't know. Thank you so much for letting me know. Ertigau says, in my opinion, the worst part of this is that it can be cast again and again. Through what? Old boy says, Time Walk is just a better Explorer in my book. That's what it is. It is true. It's a super Explorer. So many ways to regrowth and replay Time Walk. Oh, I see. So we have cards like, what's it called? Eternal Witness. So at 5 mana, you play Eternal Witness, you go get your Time Walk back, and then you replay it for another turn. So that's where the mana efficiency breaks this card. But you could also say we have a little bit more graveyard hate than we used to have. Although I don't know how well that graveyard hate interacts with Eternal Witness, since you're just taking the card and putting it into your hand and not casting it immediately. Whereas stuff like Grafdigger's Cage would just prevent you from casting cards. Will Elwinter says, I think it's still too cheap. William says, Time Walk doesn't exile itself, so it's just so easy to chain for infinite turns. Gillum says, maybe a combo player breaks this? Question mark. For sure a combo player breaks this. Chazzy Brown, anyway, you can flash it back, and flash it back makes it broken. Corbinek says, Isochron Scepter hard breaks this card. I thought Isochron Scepter is strictly only instants. Isochron Scepter. Or was it any instant or sorcery at Mana Value 2? You may exile an instant card with converted mana cost 2 or less. See, everyone makes that mistake. There are people who will like draft Isochron Scepter and Time Walk and then realize they can't. It doesn't work. Like, oops. Oops. See, look, Wizards balanced Isochron Scepter. Made sure you can't abuse it with Time Walk. So yeah, Scepter is only instants. That's right. Don't worry, we've all been there. Especially me. Preston Serpentine says Twiddledee and Twiddledum is a reference to 2 characters in Alice in Wonderland. I am familiar with that. I just found it surprising that I think 2 different people made the same joke in the same show. If you have Time Walk in your deck, you can only have vanilla creatures in your deck. Oh, you want to turn it into like a companion? You can play this. You can play the signature spell if every creature in your deck is vanilla. There's a problem with that though. The same problem with Kahira. You just don't have creatures in your deck. That's actually what a lot of control players do with Kahira. They just have no creatures in their deck, or the only creature they have is like Solitude. Because like each creature card in your starting deck is a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast, or nothing. Kahira can be your only creature in the entire deck. This with Past in Flames, ooh, or even Underworld Breach. Actually, the new art is totally fine, but the old one has a special flavor. Yeah, honestly, I like the new art more than the old art. I think this thing is just weird, to be honest. Amy Weber, I don't know what the hell she was smoking. I just think it's weird. It's unique. I'll give her that. Like that, it is really, really, really weak. We did it. We broke Underworld Breach. Narset's Reversal, sorry. Would that even work? I thought that's instance too. Narset's Reversal. Swear to God. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. Okay. Then return it to its owner's hand. You may choose new targets for the copy. Okay, so there's like new ways to actually, I guess, counteract Time Walk. I have a feeling that there's not nearly enough ways to actually put this thing, how do I put it? Keep the card in check. It probably needs to stay banned. And I say probably very loosely. Everyone watching is like, it most definitely needs to stay banned. Can't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Well, we can't make this a game changer. I guess if you want to play with this, you got to play it in Canadian Highlander. They let you play it there. That's a cool thing about Canadian Highlander. I wish it was more popular. You get to play with outrageously, stupidly broken cards. Okay, next up. This is interesting. Tinker. A classic Tinker. You know what's a funny thing? Okay, so it's 3 mana. At the time you play Tinker, sack an artifact, search your library for an artifact card, put it into play, shuffle your library afterwards. We've had shows on Tinker, like just exclusively, like what's the best thing you can Tinker? And at the time of doing the show, it seems like the best Tinker target is Bolas's Citadel, because that is the only card that effectively, it's sort of like a super time twister only for you, because the idea is that you'll play all the stuff off the top of your deck and have an insurmountable amount of card advantage. Whereas if you go get like, if you get anything, like let's say you get Blightsteel Colossus. A lot of people think Blightsteel Colossus is the best thing you can do. A lot of people can play around this card. I mean, you go get this, doesn't have haste, and then someone just Swords to Plowshares it, and then you have nothing. And you're big sad after that. Pro Tour Tinker was hell on earth. I thought it was cool. I watched some of those. I thought they were very neat. Blightsteel is an okay target also. Yeah, but it's only okay. It's not like it should not be the default go-to. Alexander, I love that card. I love all these cards. It's sad because those broken cards are basically both very cool and very miserable at the same time. I have some good news for you. This card is legal this card is very legal in one format. And that is pre-modern. So if you want to play Tinker, no, is it? No, maybe hold on. Maybe I'm mistaking things. Is it? Do we have it in pre-modern? I can't remember now if this is. Someone let me know. Is this banned or? I think this is legal in pre-modern because there's like nothing you can get. They banned all the good artifacts, if I remember correctly. Crawdaddy, Tinker may be the single most busted card ever printed. It's the enabler and payoff one card, but you need the payoff card. No payoff card, no big deal. Oh boy says running Tinker into Blightsteel is a great way to reduce your win percentage in Cube. Oh, interesting. Yeah, you could get Edict. There's a lot of answers to a Blightsteel. David Sampson, I remember cracking open a Tinker way back then, thought it was broken even with my brainchild, and looked it up and it was already banned. Unless you have a traditional Tinker deck in... I gotta look up Tinker. Yes, I have a Tinker Welder deck in pre-modern. There we go. I knew it. And play with Tanglewire and Stacks. And it's cool. So yeah, so the thing is... So the deal is... There's nothing wrong with Tinker. The problem is what you get with the Tinker. That's the real problem. Pre-modern proves this. So if you, like, I don't know, ban Portal to Phyrexia or something. Yeah, Portal Phyrexia. So you ban Portal to Phyrexia, Bolas's Citadel, then maybe Tinker is fine. Maybe Tinker isn't even going to do anything. Erithus, is this comparable to Natural Order? Really good. Very, very good idea. Maybe it is. Natural Order, however, going to get like a busted creature. And we have nothing... And by the way, we have nothing wrong with Natural Order. You know, you guys are making me believe that maybe this card is just fine-ish for Commander in general. Like, what is the way to break Tinker in Commander in 2026? Tinker is only going to get more broken as time goes on. You could say the same thing about Natural Order. And frankly, I actually don't think Tinker has gotten more broken as time has gone on. You still have to sack an artifact in play. Gets One Ring. I don't even know if that would be the most strongest thing you can do. Natural Order came before Tinker, and it stayed. They banned all the blue cards. The Tinkers, the Tolarian Academies, but the Guys, Cradles, and the Natural Orders, though, that's fine. Someone in control of the ban list is super biased for green. Crawdaddy, I was once in a Commander game and someone says, hey, I found this card, and no one seems to be playing it. He then proceeds to cast Tinker. Natural Order costs 1 more, and specifying green creatures makes it way more fair. It does, but it's still a super powerful effect. Natural Order is also legal in pre-modern. That is true, and frustrating at the same time, as they go get Heritage Druid almost every single damn time. Gets Dark Steel Forge. Reshape is fixed Tinker. Tinker is still more dangerous than Natural Order just because artifacts have more danger cards in the pool than green creatures, in my opinion. Mercenary says, Natural Order needs more cards to get it work over Tinker. El Winter, I'm starting to think that maybe anything to do with artifacts is a problem. Well, yeah, they didn't make artifacts so weak or soft, and nearly as soft as creatures. Which is weird because most artifacts just break, you know, like it's all artifacts are things. Like if I drop my Nintendo Switch on the ground, it will break after a few times. If I jump up and down, I do not break as a human being. Wait, what? Tinker is legal in pre-modern? That is correct. So if you guys want to play with Tinker, you can play it in pre-modern. And how can you play with pre-modern? You can play pre-modern with Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards on Magic Online. They have a whole pre-modern format on that client. Magic Online has Pauper, pre-modern, Momir. It's got what other fan-made form? I mean, you can play Highlander, you can play 4-player, CEDH, or just regular casual EDH. You can play all the competitive formats. When you rent cards with Mana Traders, use coupon code Nikachu_Z4M for 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription. And play yourself some Tinker. Some Tinker pre-modern. So, sorry, someone gets a Chroma's Memorial if they want to be fancy. Alexander, I think blue in artifacts is far stronger than green cards in vintage, so that gives a good clue for the most broken tier list. Gillum, God's Pharaoh statue on turn 2 equals how to lose all your friends. What is that? God Pharaoh's. I'm familiar with the card, but not really. Spells your opponent's cast. Oh. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses 1 life. That is brutal. Is there any creatures like that? Are there any Staxy creatures? Spells your opponent's cast. But you know what this doesn't get around? Boseiju. The land that can destroy this thing. But does pre-modern have any good targets? Nothing that wins the game. Just stacks cards. Like what you just saw. Blue should get more artifact-loving cards in Modern Magic. We should, shouldn't we? Artifacts are an archetype that gets new toys every single set. Yeah, basically. But do they get big, over-the-top, powerful cards every single set? They usually get a lot of little dinky stuff. Future Sight was where colored artifacts were introduced in the game. Chromatic Orrery, says Gillum, turn 2 is like infinite mana compared to what other players have. Yeah, but that doesn't win the game. It doesn't win the game at all. Okay, let's put it to a vote. Let's get a new poll here. Tinker. Too powerful for 2026. And you have the option too powerful. Where am I doing here? Too powerful or too powerful, stay banned, or you can unban it. Make the choice is yours. See how people want to vote for Tinker. I probably would play it if it was legal, but I'm not allowed to. Well, it's already looking bad for me over here. This is still one of the most broken cards, though. Well, it all depends on how you use it. Alexander, is there a crazy expensive artifact being even more crazy to cheat, except Blightsteel or the famous ones? Yes, there are. So some of the go-tos would be like maybe okay. So the first go-to is Bolus's Citadel. Like this is the de facto artifact that people get to win. Why can't we see, like, does anyone see this? We see nothing. My poll sucks. But I can tell you just by looking at the chat, everyone's voting 1. We got a 2 out there. All right, Resident Serpentine, we'll show them all. We have another 2, but we're getting outvoted by 1s here. A lot of 1s out there. Well, okay, I now know who's the blue players amongst all of us. All you need to do is sack an artifact. So Bolus's Citadel is like, you may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play the top card of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its converted mana cost rather than pay its mana cost. You could argue this should be banned in Commander, because what the hell is paying life mean in a 40 life format. Tap, sack 10. This last part doesn't matter, but sack 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. I mean, it's probably relevant too. This is the most powerful card you could possibly tinker. But there's a lot of other obnoxious cards that you can go get. Yeah, I guess with Citadel, you can almost play your entire deck with the right deck build. Crawdaddy, there's an artifact that allows you to cast one colorless spell per turn for free. You can use that card to cast Eldrazi. Reston says, I'm a green player, LOL. Can't stand blue, but gotta be fair. Oh, yeah, okay, so if you get Natural Order, the blue player should be allowed to have Tinker. Oh no, paying life in a 40 life format. And in black, how will I survive? Yeah, black can also get some life gain out of that. Kano says, I main blue with lots of artifacts, but Tinker is still not. Ah, Kano. Kano, we needed your vote. Okay, it appears with an overwhelming number of ones, Tinker, even in 2026, is still too powerful. Way too powerful for Commander. And maybe even Magic the Gathering in general. Okay, next card. A card that's probably not going to get a lot of love to get unbanned. That is Tolarian Academy. It is the Guy's Cradle of blue. Or maybe Guy's Cradle is the Tolarian Academy of green. Legendary land, tap to add a blue to your mana pool for each artifact you control. I cannot express how powerful I feel whenever I play with this card in like Vintage. It is so cool to dump a bunch of artifacts on the battlefield, and then this one land, it doesn't add colorless mana, it adds blue mana, and a lot of it. Yeah, Erithus, no defense here. I really have nothing to say. I mean, the only argument people use for Tolarian Academy is if Gaia's Cradle is legal, then Tolarian Academy should be legal. But I have to admit, it is infinitely easier to spew a bunch of artifacts on the battlefield super fast, mind you, early in the game, than it is to spew a bunch of creatures early on in the game and then abuse Gaia's Cradle. So Gaia's Cradle is pretty good at getting a pretty good like turn 4 payoff if you still have those creatures around. Tolarian Academy can like easily get like a turn 2, turn 3 payoff. Big turn 3. We have Han So Chen. Tolarian Academy is much better than Gaia's Cradle. Absolutely. Let Storm players eat. What the hell? Would Storm players even play with this card? I guess there's Storm players with a bunch of artifacts. I'm really honestly not familiar with the Storm decks in Commander. I'm more familiar with the Storm decks in other formats. I suppose there are some artifact-centric Storm decks in Vintage. Crawdaddy, anyone who thinks Cradle is equal to Academy has never played with or against Academy. On a power scale of 1 to 100, Cradle is 90, Academy is 862. What the hell does that mean? It's beyond the scale. It goes on a power scale of 1 to 100. I don't know if it's that far off. Yeah, I mean it's stronger, but I might say it's only like double stronger, and that's enough to make it broken. Surefire says we have Uthros Titanic God Core and Storm the Vault now. I'm fine with this staying banned. Alex says, I saw Tolarian being played and Cradle too. It's like day and night in terms of power, even if Cradle is obviously very good. Fan Factor, unban this, let Storm players eat in Commander. Cameron, if Gaia's Cradle and Sarah's Sanctum are legal, unban this. It's fun, but a Vandal Blast equals you just lose. Okay, so is that what? Maybe that's the only other argument these days. There are way more artifact destruction. So, like mass artifact destruction. So even if you do build up a board pretty early, if you lose lose your entire board, then you have basically you have a dead card on the battlefield because it doesn't tap for generic mana. But it's still like whatever they played, like when they had Tolarian Academy active, they probably played at least one really good card, even if you destroy all the artifacts. Board it, says Gillum. To the rank. It makes Moss of mana. Arethusa, paradoxical outcome deck. Oh yeah, that's right. Bunch of treasures likely for storming off. Benjamin Berkey's like, it's completely fine. We have at least one troll in the house with some humor. Oh boy, it's funny. I think Cradle and Sanctum should even be game changers, but Academy off the charts. You know what? That's a good point. Why aren't Cradle, like, if Cradle has a power level of, you know, of a similar quality to Tolarian Academy, sure, Tolarian Academy can be banned, but why not make Guys Cradle a game changer? Like, that is just a very strong card. I think that makes a good point. Maybe that could be a show. Cards that should be game changers. Tolarian Academy could replace Time Twist on the Power 9. That's a good idea. Tues, how do you like Uthros? Well, Uthros is a lot of work. Ooh. Like, if you want a Tolarian, the idea is if you want a Tolarian Academy effect, you got it over here, but you got to work for it. It's not like you get it immediately. You need to charge this thing up to 12. You even have to pay mana, actually. So it's not even free. This is Uthros on crack. Surefire Selves. Artifacts have easy access to artifact protection. However, some decks can cheat out Dark Steel Forge at instantaneous speed. Cradle is a game changer. Oh, you said you said shouldn't? Cradle is okay. So Cradle is a game changer. I think it should be a game changer. Okay, so what did you say earlier? It's funny. I think Cradle and Sanctum shouldn't even be game changers, but Academy off the chart. Oh, well then in that case you are insane. You are just insane. This is super illegal, and Cradle is basically marginally illegal. Okay, let's see why Commander banned it. Let's see what the reason is here. Let's take a look at Tolarian Academy. Tolarian Academy, its power is tied to the abundance and ease of access to cheap artifacts in the earliest stages of the game. This often creates 2 or more colored mana on turn 1 and continues to scale throughout the game with no downside or additional costs at untap. This is basically what we learned. It's nothing new. We didn't learn anything new. Gilliam says, I say nope. This is just giving every blue player a Black Lotus. It's not black. It's a Blue Lotus. Blue Lotus. Repeated Blue Lotus, by the way. Chatter means Tolarian Academy a game changer like Cradle. How much should Magus of the Cradle cost? Probably 4 mana. Probably 4 mana. That probably would make it fair. And plus, you can kill it. Remember, it would very likely have Summoning Sickness. I think that's a big deal putting a Tolarian Academy on a creature. I should say it's no big deal to put Tolarian Academy on a creature. Like, that's a way of making it fair because the creature has Summoning Sickness, and you have to wait a full rotation before it can start tapping for stuff. And you can make it even a 0/1 if you really thought it was that broken. Stop making cheap artifacts. Crawdaddy, decks F Cradle are just that. Decks with Cradle. Decks with Academy are Academy decks. Okay, how about this? We're gonna call it Cradle decks from now on. That's a Cradle deck. Maybe the thing is we haven't been calling them Cradle decks the entire time when we should have. We should never have called it Elves. We should have just called it a Cradle deck. I fell flat on my face with Cradle one too many times. Only play it in Elf Ball nowadays. See? It's a Cradle deck. It's not an Elf deck. See, there's a lot of Cradle decks. There's a lot of any deck with Cradle that goes in their deck to make it more powerful. That's a Cradle deck. Okay, Tolarian Academy is banned. It's still too powerful for 2026, and very likely is just the type of card that is going to get more powerful from here on out. Did we do this card? I'm a little confused if we did this. Maybe I'm thinking of another show. Trade Secrets. 3 mana sorcery. Target opponent draws 2 cards, then you draw up to 4 cards. That opponent may repeat this process as many times as he or she chooses. With the purpose of this card of just kingmaking, or maybe kingmaking is not the right term. You're gonna eliminate 2 people from the game because 2 players are going to have an overwhelming number of cards, and 2 people have nothing, and they'll get crushed. It was a super chat. All right, I don't even remember what the result was, but I'm sure we kept it banned. Yeah, we cut the line with the super chat. I just couldn't remember. I'm getting confused with the other Commander show that we're doing right now. Okay, so next is card that probably shouldn't be banned. Upheaval. The scary card for some people because they hate the game getting reset, especially if it was a long one. 6 mana sorcery. Return all permanents to their owner's hands. Now, this show is about how powerful cards are, not how annoying they are. Is this card too powerful for 2026? I would just instantly say no. There are so many cards that reset the board. I don't think Upheaval is anything unique. If anything, it's possible by today's standards, like Upheaval would not even reset the game to a point where it's like just prolonging the game. Whoever's upheavaling probably has a massive advantage and will kill the opponents like super quickly. In my opinion, Sheldon thought it was too powerful. Well, it's a good card, don't get me wrong. If Worldfire is allowed, so is this. Maybe, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we have crossed the point where we're okay with board resetting cards. Although Worldfire is a very different thing because Worldfire puts everyone to one life, so the game cannot go much longer. Where it's basically a sudden death game. Unban Upheaval, ban the player using it. Fan factor. It's not powerful on its own, but it's powerful with floating mana. That's fine. So I mean that's how Upheaval is supposed to work. Like that's the whole point of the card. No one's just trying to reset the game for no reason. You play Upheaval with a bunch of floating mana, bounce the board, you replay yours, your opponents don't, and you win the game. Christopher B, reminder that the SEC wants insider trading to be legal inside 6 months. Please reprimand this. What the hell is that? Were you trying to make some sort of point with Upheaval? Are people buying up Upheaval before a big unban? Why is this even banned? There is some argument against... Okay, well, I don't know. Okay, I don't know the real reason. We'll look at the real reason from the official Commander ban list. But I know there's a lot of people who hate the game getting reset. Like, okay, they like a long game, but they also want the game to end. And Upheaval is a type of card that resets the game from back to the beginning. Okay, let's make our land drops. But I also think Upheaval can also be looked at as a type of card that will win the game and will end the game. Almost like Cyclonic Rift. Danny Luo, 6 mana, and it only returns enchantments. Not that powerful now. What? No, so return all permanents. Crawdaddy says, I think it's similar to Armageddon, but we didn't destroy your lands. You still have your lands. It's just in your hand. Mercenary Bob Maher won the last and final Master Series match by casting Upheaval to sweep Nassif out from the match to claim the last Master Series title. Oh boy, I'd auto-include it in all my artifact decks. That being said, unban it. Ooh, you make actually a really good point that this card would be just bonkers in an artifact deck. It's probably the best way to play this card. Yeah, you just you may not even need to float mana. Just replay your hand and screw everyone else over. And who better plays artifacts than Blue? Even with Claire and Academy banned. Cameron says, I'd rather this than farewell. John says, I'm here late. No, you're here on time. They fixed Upheaval and Shadowmoor with the card World Purge. Yeah, but we still have this card. We'd like to play. Does anyone even play World Purge? Corbinek, I would actually be okay unbanning Upheaval. Well, that opinion is fine, but what about everybody else? Let's see. Let's make another poll over here. Upheaval. Too powerful for 2026? Is it too powerful, stay banned, or would you guys want to unban this card? Okay, let's show, and hopefully the poll works this time. So Fan Factor says, if it said you can't have mana in your mana pool this turn, it would be fair. Christopher B says, Upheaval for just tokens modified and non-basic lands. Ugh, that'd be just a gross card. Corbinek says 6 mana in mono blue is hard to get to. And then, oh boy, bouncing all non-land permanents and bouncing all lands is okay. So why not both? Because the bouncing the land. And here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. This card is actually in some sense more fair. Some sense. I'm loosely using the word some sense. Than Cyclonic Rift because you are bouncing your entire board. Cyclonic Rift, you're just bouncing everybody else's board, which people are very frustrated by. Emblems and paradigms aren't reset. Play with those. Okay, yeah, protection from your emblems have protection from this card. Danny's like, I changed my mind. Stay banned. LOL. But we have to agree. It's well, I mean, it would be interesting to see how this card would play out. I think it's a pretty good analysis that if played in a strict artifact deck, that Upheaval might be actually broken. All right, seems like it should be. A lot of you guys agree that this card is not too broken for 2026 and should be unbanned. We can unban Upheaval, but let's see why it's banned. I don't know, actually. I don't know the entire reason, so let's take a look at Upheaval. Games of Commander are expected to go long. Well, whoa, that depends on the playgroup, buddy. It's not uncommon to see players cast spells for 10 plus mana. Upheaval is both an emergency reset, which leaves the game right back at square one, and a way to get way ahead in the game by floating mana. Bouncing everything, then replaying your hand while leaving everyone else stuck at nothing gives no real way to interact with it besides counter magic. They could say that about a lot of cards, though. Honestly, there's a lot of cards that if you don't have counter magic, you just lose. Like a lot of those cards that have super powerful ETBs. I can't remember. There is like a new. Is it a Ninja Turtle? It comes into play with haste. It attacks, and you can search your deck for, maybe you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and you put a creature in play, tapped and attacking, and it's an absurd amount of value, just completely absurd amount of value. Can only be met with counter magic for the most part. Put counter magic in your deck, then it's sorcery speed. What a poor, yeah, I know, what a poor excuse for a ban. I think it's mostly the reset the game part, which might not be as viable as it used to be. It resets the game to turn 1, but also gives one player a big advantage. Is kind of contradictory, no? Oh yeah, reset the game, but is a big advantage to somebody. So I guess the idea is it's a feel bad. One person's way ahead while everyone else is screwed. Ralph and Mikey, yeah, that thing. Ralph and Mikey, but it has to attack. Well, usually it does. Stormy Cat, this puts you way further ahead than Cyclonic Rift if played right. Okay, then it's just then look at it like a combo card. If I have the combo of a bunch of cards that if I can stretch the game long enough, look at that. There is actually some incentive to kill people quickly, all right? Don't let if the game drags on for too long enough, you can end up getting upheavaled for a loss, and that's just a thing that can happen. But it will win the game. Like, isn't that a good thing? Don't people like cards that will just win the game? Like, people are upset, oh, you're resetting the game, the game's gonna go longer. No, upheaval would be played to just win the game. Well, it does die to Doomblade / Swords to Flesh. Oh, you're talking about Ralphie? Not the guy I was playing against. I mean, yeah, you could use removal, but the ultimate problem was that they were playing this thing out easily turn 2, turn 3. Marcio, I guess it's actually because of the masked land denial effect. Surefire Cells, Upheaval, Notion Thief, Windfall. Oh, ouch. Christopher B, I really wanted counter magic available in more colors, if just for different kinds of triggered abilities. Well, you have white counter magic. It's watered down, crappier version of blue counter magic. Okay, Upheaval, you can be unbanned. We are the Council of Logic, and we say you can be unbanned. Okay, our last card for 2026 is none other than Yawgmoth's Bargain. 6 mana fixed, Necropotence. Is an enchantment. Skip your draw step, pay 1 life, and draw a card. Little did they know, they actually probably made it even more broken. Now, just a heads up to everyone who doesn't know, a lot of these banned commander cards are actually restricted in Vintage. This one is not. This one is fully legal. You want to play 4, go for it. I don't even think they do. Just because the cost. I don't know why people don't play millions of Yawgmoth's Bargains. Ban. Stay banned. We are the professors of logic down at the University of Science. Arethusa, 1 card now versus 1 card later arguments. Double ban this card. Yawg, I come to bargain. This was supposed to be a fixed Necro, but it proved to be better than Necro as you get the cards right away. I think it's just I think they're of a similar power level. I just think they're just different. I would still put Necro as better in my opinion, because turn 1 Necropotence I think is just more consistent than you. I mean, you're not going to get turn 1 Yawgmoth's Bargain all that much. Am I wrong about that? Or can you get like enough, like turn 2 Yawgmoth's Bargain through rituals consistently enough? It's just too powerful for Commander. Oh yeah, Commander, you have like 40 life to work with. Just draw like basically a third of your deck. It's basically non-creature Grizzlebrand. Yeah, you can't even source to Plowshares this thing. Marcio, most black draw bans are actually because of Shieldred the Apocalypse. Just ban Shieldred. I don't think Shieldred was around when this card got banned, in my opinion. But you are making a good point that this card is even more broken. It danger in 2026 than even at the time that it was banned. This is just better Grizzlebrand. Surefire Cells, it's so simple. It reads so nice. It plays so broken. Must learn from my custom card creations. Corbinek, as a mono black lover, unban, please. Make it a Kate. Could we make it a game changer? Probably still not. Like, that's their question these days. Could we make it like a game changer? How many points is this worth in Canadian Highlander? Does anyone know? I'm gonna quickly look that up. Yawgmoth's Bargain Canadian Highlander points. Damn it, I can't find a clean answer. Does anyone know how many points this thing is? No, it just wins. Genuine question. I saw several time vintage games with turn 1 win, but in Legacy or CEDH, does that happen sometimes? Yeah, it happens. In fact, they just recently banned a deck in Legacy that was winning consistently on turn 1. Just too consistently. It should never have existed. It was the Oops All Spells deck. How many points was this? 111. It's worth 111 points. You can make it a diaper changer. It's disgusting. Firefox, I think it's more banned in Commander where you have 20 extra cards than on other formats. Oh boy, give it 5 years and 6 mana, draw 30 will be the new normal. Probably. Yeah, this came out also before Grizzlebrand. I'll let you unban Tinker if I can have this. Look, we're making an offer that perhaps some people can't refuse. Necro is far better in 60 card Magic? Oh, I see. You're saying, okay, Necro is better in 60 card Magic, Yawgmoth better in the 100 card Magic. Maybe where you have access to enough artifacts to get Bargain out super fast. I don't think Bargain is pointed in Island. Really? First turn kill. You guys like the first turn kills? You skillless cowards. Crawdaddy, get it out with Academy Rector. David Sampson, not a pointed card in Highlander. Wow, look, they don't even think this is a problem in Highlander. Unbelievable. They banned Oops. Yeah, they banned Oops. They banned, I think, Balustrade. They banned one of them, Balustrade Spy or the Undercity guy. One of the creatures that enabled it to make it like a lot less consistent. Don't worry, we'll get around that. Get around to that when we start talking about how powerful are banned Legacy cards in 2026. Oh, I see. Yeah, it was obvious. I should have guessed. I only watched vintage and modern games in non-rotating formats. No, that's okay. It's all good. It's turn 1 kills are rare. Like rare. It's possible in CDH, but also still very rare. It's possible in vintage, but they actually don't happen that often because each vintage deck usually has some means of interacting with the opponent. So even while first turn kills are possible, they're usually interacted with to some degree. Vintage there's more interaction going on in vintage than people realize because no one's just going to let their opponent go off and win. But there are like more non-games in vintage than the other formats, that's for sure. That's what being 3 more mana does to a card. Yeah. Corbinek, it's not as much of a problem of Tolarian Academy on Well, we should just have one more we just need one more bracket in Commander, and that is the no ban Commander bracket. That would be, I don't know, who's in for no ban Commander. Okay, hold on, let's make that a widget. Or sorry, let's make that a poll. Should there be a no ban list bracket in Commander? No ban list bracket. No. Let it not exist. Okay, there we go. Let's create this. Answer away. Oh no, where is it? There it is. Should there be a no ban list bracket in Commander where you guys can all get to play whatever crap you want? And the there'd be the only problem I see with no ban list is the Wooburg has access to each Moxen. So there's maybe a world where you have to ban those cards just to make it like somewhat fair. But it probably I mean, like, blue probably still gets more goodies than not. No ban list would just be a rule 0 one-shot type thing. No banned list is 40 life vintage Highlander. I love chaos and disorder. The Ghost of Thomas Jenkins, it'd be a novelty format that you'd have to partake in. If there were a few cards I would ban in no ban list in a no ban list bracket, or like we could say it doesn't even have to be a no ban list bracket. It could be like a super unhinged bracket. I'd ban the Moxen and Time Vault, because I think Time Vault is too cheesy of a victory. And like almost anyone can play it. Anyone can play the Artifacts and Urza Saga. Alex, imagine playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In Magic. Oh well, it's basically Omniscience turn 1 format. I can play Shahrazad, can't me I guess. I mean, you know what? Without a ban list, the sub games probably go quite quickly anyway. Make it no Time Vault and I'm in. Okay, so it's basically a very unhinged version. Best card in no ban is Blacker Lotus, 4 mana turn 1. What? No, those cards, the Silverboard cards are still banned. Commander for anti? Go on, the anti cards are very likely banned. No ban list would be like a battle of mulligans and a battle of who's gonna get first turn. Hey, you still got a mulligan. You got one free one, and that's it. I'm bringing my contract from below. You people no! The anti cards would still be like illegal. I don't consider the anti cards banned. There's just like they're not even allowed. They're not legal. Okay, well, enough of you are actually into the no ban list bracket. Look, you don't have to partake in the no ban list bracket. It just has to exist. Okay, why did they ban Yawgmoth's Bargain? Let's take a look at their reasoning here. Yawgmoth's Bargain abuses Commander's higher life totals, making the life payment essentially trivial. It, too, easily allows for access to a large portion of one's deck without having to guess how far you need to go, and leaves the mana up for casting the cards drawn right away. Basically everything. Everything we already know. The card is broken. Super broken. No analysis needed. But you know what's a weird thing? Hold on. Necropotence is not banned, right? Necropotence. Oh, but it is a game changer. I think that's weird. Like, yeah, okay, I understand. I get the card later, but it's still, in my opinion, I think is almost as powerful. As Yawgmoth's Bargain. Like, I would have no problem paying like 10 life, get 10 cards at end of turn, whatever, discard down to hand size. You might not even have to discard to hand size because you might have Reliquary Tower on the battlefield. So anyway, the Necropotence is unbelievable. I still think Necropotence is super strong. Old Boy says Necropotence is a shot in the dark and forces you to play end step / next turn. Yeah, but you have to wait to get those cards. 3 black and you get the card later. Crawdaddy, you can see the cards you draw, so you never have to guess. Oh, you can pay 1 life. I understand. Yawgmoth's Bargain, you can pay 1 life per turn. Pay a life, draw a card. Pay a life, draw a card. Pay a life, draw a card. I think Necropotence is just as busted. Necropotence is Yawgmoth with extra steps. Necro exile stuff you have to do. You have to do preparing to blast off. Just like Team Rocket blasting off again, as we do these days. As usual, my coffee crew, if you want to be part of the show, you got to be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, or Tuesdays, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even help super chat so other people are part of the show. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here today. I love the discussion from everybody. People like Fan Factor. Cradle is fair in Cube. It's fair everywhere else. We got Suwa. We have Mercenary, Old Boy, David Sampson, Benjamin Berkey. Even Adaptus was here the entire time. Bryce, Christopher B. So long, Ban Nadu for forever. Jeff Bell, and many more. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep bringing them coffees. And we're going to keep bringing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.